You know the person. The one driving in the passing lane, not passing anyone. No urgency, no awareness. Just cruising like the road belongs to them. Meanwhile, there's a line of cars stacking up behind them. People with places to be, deadlines to meet, lives moving at a different speed. How about the no-blinker driver? They shift lanes without signaling, and suddenly everyone else has to react. Or the green light texter. The light turns green, but nothing happens. Opportunity is sitting there, wide open, and they're still scrolling. It's easy to get irritated. But here's the uncomfortable question. Is it just bad driving? Or is that entitlement? And here's the even harder question. Where does that show up in me? Welcome back to the Motivated Savages podcast, where we live bold, lead fearless, and ignite our path forward. I'm Jody Savage, and today we're talking about the entitlement epidemic. Not the loud or obvious kind, the subtle and internal kind. The kind that says, I deserve this. They should understand. Why isn't this happening yet? I've done enough. Entitlement blocks growth. Self-awareness builds it. And your mindset determines which one you're operating from. If you want personal growth, leadership strength, and real momentum in your life, this episode matters. Because entitlement feels justified, but awareness is transformative. You see, the passing lane is designed for acceleration. It's not the comfort lane. It's not the scenic route. It's for passing. So when someone sits there, they're not just cruising. They're interrupting flow. Now here's a quick reflection. Ask yourself, where am I interrupting flow in my life? At work, maybe it sounds like, I've been here a long time. I deserve to move up. But how have I improved? How have I stretched? How have I become undeniably valuable? Or am I relying on time served? In business, it sounds like, I launched it. I showed up. Why isn't it working? But did I refine? Did I test? Did I adapt when the market gave feedback? Or did I build something once and expect applause? In relationships, it sounds like, this is just who I am. But am I evolving? Am I listening? Am I adjusting my behavior when I realize I've hurt someone? Or am I parked in comfort, expecting others to maneuver around me? Self-awareness asks, am I passing? Entitlement says, I've done enough. Pause there. Really sit with that. Where have you quietly decided you've done enough? When someone doesn't use a blinker, the problem isn't the lane change. It's the lack of communication. It creates confusion. It creates reaction. And it creates stress. Now let's bring that into everyday life. In leadership, have you ever changed expectations without clearly explaining why? Have you ever been frustrated with your team because they should have known? In relationships, have you ever withdrawn emotionally without saying what was wrong? Have you ever expected someone to read your mood instead of communicate your needs? In friendships, have you stopped reaching out and then felt hurt when they didn't pursue you? That's no blinker energy. And here's the deeper reflection. Ask yourself, where am I expecting people to interpret instead of informing? Emotional intelligence is signaling before shifting. Self-awareness is communicating before collision. Entitlement assumes they should know. Awareness understands it's my responsibility to clarify. All right, now the light turns green and momentum is available, but attention is somewhere else. The person in front of you is on their phone. They didn't even see the light change. In personal development, this looks like consuming endless content without implementation. Listening to podcasts, reading books, saving posts, highlighting quotes, but never acting. In career growth, it looks like knowing you need to update your resume, knowing you need to have the conversation, knowing you need to apply, but waiting. In fitness, it's planning the program without starting the workout. The green light is on, but you're still scrolling. Go ahead, let's think about this. Where in your life is the light green, but you're stalled? Is it fear? Is it perfectionism? Is it distraction? Is it comfort? Momentum doesn't wait. It moves when you move. And then there's the tailgater. Impatient, pressuring, demanding speed. In life, this looks like I should be further by now. I've been working on this for months. I thought this would happen faster. But cause and effect doesn't respond to impatient. It responds to input. Are you building skill? Are you building consistency? Are you building discipline? Or are you demanding results from shallow roots? Take a minute and think about that. Where am I rushing growth? Where do I want the reward without fully representing the process? Entitlement demands effect. Self-awareness strengthens cause. Then there's the driver who speeds ahead in the closing lane and forces their way in. The late merger. It feels clever until everyone sees it. In everyday life, shortcuts look like taking credit without contribution, chasing visibility instead of competence, looking for hacks instead of mastering fundamentals, buying followers instead of building trust. And here's the reality: people notice. Reputation compounds. Character compounds. Trust compounds. Think about this. Where am I looking for shortcuts instead of growth? Everything is a system. Your workplace, your family, your friendships, your community. And systems reward contribution. They resist ego. When you operate with entitlement, you disrupt flow. When you operate with awareness, you strengthen flow. Tone affects morale, and silence affects trust. Effort affects opportunity. Mindset affects behavior. Behavior affects outcomes. This is not just motivational language, it's reality. Now let's slow down. I want you to take a minute and think about, Where do I expect recognition without refinement? Expect understanding without communication? Expect faster results than my habits support? Expect others to adjust to my comfort? Self-awareness is not self-criticism. It's self-honesty. And self-honesty is leadership. This week, you don't complain about entitlement. You interrupt it in yourself. For 7 days, challenge yourself. Signal clearly before shifting expectations. Accelerate when you've been coasting. Act when the light turns green. Respect the process instead of rushing outcomes. Replace I deserve with what am I building? Each night, ask yourself, did I create flow or friction? Did I communicate clearly? Did I grow today? Did I take responsibility? Awareness is a daily discipline, not a personality trait. So if you're going to change lanes in life, signal. If you're not passing, move over. If you want growth, increase value. If you want influence, increase awareness. The entitlement epidemic ends with personal responsibility. Self-awareness is leadership. Mindset shapes momentum. I'm Jody Savage, and this is the Motivated Savages podcast. Live bold, ignite your path. That's the Savage way. If this message resonated, share it with someone who's ready to trade entitlement for awareness. And if you want to carry this message with you, check out our merch line at motivatedsavages.com. We've designed gear to remind you to live bold every day. Together, we're building the Savage community, a movement of people choosing purpose, growth, and bold living.